into the final trading days of the month of September, the second month in the third quarter of the year. This is your Frontier Opening Bell. Welcome to the show, everyone. I am Bosin Omofaye. Just a very quick run through the markets. Looks a bit very choppy. Nigeria was closed yesterday for a Muslim holiday. So the market will be reopening today with the central bank looking to conduct a primary market auction, the final for the month and the week. Today, keep an eye on that. 177 billion in three dated treasuries as well. The financial regulator will be selling into the market. We'll see the impact of that on financial system. Liquidity, in particular, the lending rates among commercial banks. The BRVM softened by 0.5%. Wednesday, the Egyptian market down by 0.89%. The first decline we saw since the start of the week on the Cairo market. The Nairobi stock market still in a sell-off mode, down by 0.88% on the all-share index, while the GSE fell 0.66% in line with the developed and emerging markets Wednesday. Because of sentiments across the markets, oil prices went up, dollar index also up. You saw yield on U.S. Treasuries, 10-year paper at about 4%. All of that in play for risky assets, despite some economic data that was expected from South Africa. The producer price inflation data is expected on the streets today. Keep that in mind. Let's roll it over and talk a little bit about some headline news coming out of East Africa, where we all get it started as far as economic headlines concerned. The central bank is set to hold its monetary policy meeting next week, October the 3rd. So the Kenyan Bankers Association ahead of that are urging the central bank to raise interest rates at a very moderate level. That is what the news sources are saying out of Nairobi. The bankers are looking at the non-performing loans. They want a bit of a higher interest rate so that they can moderate NPL portfolio and all of that. Of course, they will make more money in the process as well. But we'll see how the central bank will decide next week. We'll leave that open. Kenya is paying about $238 million to Gulf companies on that government-to-government arrangement. And the Mauritius Stock Exchange is opening its doors, so it's a trading platform for investors and traders who want to come in from Kenya, investment banks and brokers. He wants to link his own market on the island of the Indian Ocean to the biggest exchange in East African continent, and that's a handshake across the ocean. That's the latest there. Central Africa is filing for insolvency against Twiga Foods over about 29 million shillings debt. And the Tanzanian government under President Suluhu Hassan is rejigging its foreign policy now towards economic diplomacy, looking to take advantage of global economic situations and positioning rather than simply foreign policy for the sake of policies alone. Let's start checking with West Africa and Nigeria. I was making the headlines as Nigerian markets are reopened today after that one day public holiday. All traders are still looking for a way to walk around the $3 billion deals that African Bank Concern has on the table for the Nigeria State Oil Company, the NNPC Limited. The idea is to get $3 billion into the pockets of NNPC, get that to support the central bank FX scarcity. Then the NNPC in turn will promise to deliver certain amount of crude oil at a future date to these oil traders. So African is sort of midwife in that, but oil traders are a little bit worried for the fact that Nigeria's state oil company has so much oil swaps already on the table for its petrol imports. So the $3 billion announcement, which was made by NNPC gleefully, as it were, back in August, is yet to materialize. I talked about the central bank rolling over the primary market auction treasury bills, 3 dated papers. Today we'll get the announcement when the market closed later in the day. In the meantime, Ghana says it's done about 4 billion shillings in reopened local debt papers, while the World Bank has approved $170 million for Togo, one of the smallest economies in West Africa. And the United States has suspended its development aid to Gabon on the back of the latest military junta deposing the civilian administration there. So that's the latest from West Africa. Let's check in with Southern Africa. Capitec Bank reporting its first half earnings and a very mouth-watering interim dividend. Headlines earnings per share, which is HEPS about 13%, interim dividend and operating profit jumped 9%. Good news there from Capitec, one of the financial services company in South Africa. AngloGold, however, has completed its primary listing now on the New York Stock Exchange and said goodbye to Johannesburg, but will retain its secondary listing on the JSE, however. Namibia is banning poultry imports from South Africa because of bird flu, while Masimba Holdings is replacing its chief executive officer, Canada Mulanga, who is retiring, will be replaced with Funga Mathawa, who will be taking over from December the 31st. There'll be a new horizon at the mining firm, effective 1st of January 2024. The Malawi Stock Exchange market value, or what you call the market capitalization, is seen at about 6.4 trillion kwanzas, or 35% of the GDP. Malawi is seeing a very decent year so far across its stock market. And OK Foods is warning that Zimbabwe's supermarkets are dying very slowly because of the country's socioeconomic situation, disposable income very tight, the Zimbabwean dollar also facing a very tough time. Cost of imports in US dollar terms is rising. So let's finish it off in North Africa with a couple of economic headlines right now from Egypt and the plan by the President al-Sisi's administration to sell, by the Egyptian authority to sell stakes in Alex Bank, Vodafone and others by June of 2024. The government is looking to spin off a number of its interests in some enterprises into the private sector. And City Farm in Egypt is targeting about $50 million sales of a frozen agri in the U.S. market, while the Central Bank of Egypt is completing the third phase of its money market development project. And finally, Amir Power from the UAE is looking to set up a solar project in Tunisia. That's roughly $86 million. And those are your headlines getting Thursday, the 28th of September up and running. Friday is just around the corner. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you then.